It's November 24th, 2025, and over the last week and all over social media is this story of a very unfortunate interaction between church staff at a church in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and a homeless woman who was staying in her car on their property. And I am absolutely convinced that this incident absolutely would have been mitigated, avoided, and successfully de-escalated if the church staff had simply had a ministry mindset. Hi, my name is John. I'm a retired police officer, an Army veteran, and a certified crisis intervention specialist. And we're going to talk about effective conflict de-escalation concepts, tips, and techniques with a ministry mindset and how it applies to you in your everyday life. Let's get to it. What's unfortunate is that this situation is not just a one-off with this church. I'm so aware of other incidences in other churches around the country where church staff and volunteers have such a heavy-handed manner of dealing with people who don't look right, or homeless, or just someone who doesn't fit the mold, or doesn't match their culture and bubble of their church. And folks, we're supposed to be ambassadors for Christ. Long before we got here, the church was a light and beacon for broken people. And long after we're gone, the church is going to continue to be a light and beacon for broken people. You need to expect broken people to come to your church, and they're not always going to look like you, smell like you, dress like you, or drive the same type of car you do. You've got to stay flexible. And in this unfortunate incident, a lady who was down on her luck was staying in her car, found a place to park on the parking lot, and they basically ordered her to move. And she was inside the office trying to explain her case, and at no point does the church staff make an effort to help her. They just tell her to leave, or they'll threaten to call the police. And one of the church staff members stands there with their phone up recording the homeless woman. What do you expect is supposed to happen when you stand there videotaping someone? I don't understand this, but it doesn't go well. The homeless lady puts the interaction on social media, and now it's all over social media and all over the news. And a ministry mindset, simple ministry mindset, would have given these church staffers and volunteers just that much more empathy and compassion for their fellow man, and they would have made an effort to simply ask her how they can help her. And if they can't, they can at least make an effort to point her in the direction of organizations that are designed to help homeless people. This is a very unfortunate incident. But again, I'm so aware of other situations very similar. Where October of 2024, I'm aware of a guy who was bragging about how he de-escalated a situation when some guys who were simply wiping down the windows of their car after going through the car wash, they were at the far end of the parking lot, how he de-escalated a situation with them. Well, as I'm reading his email, basically he had gone out there and just kicked them off the property. And of course, they got a little upset because they were at the far end of the parking lot. They weren't hurting anything. They weren't hurting anyone. They weren't threatening violence. There was no imminent danger of great bodily harm or death. And this guy went out there to kick them off the property. And of course, they got upset. There was like 4 people, and they got upset. And this gentleman was bragging about how he used the de-escalation skills he learned from watching a how-to video online. And I'm reading his story, and I'm thinking to myself, why did you have to kick him off the property in the first place? Where was the invitation for men's breakfast? Where was the invitation to go to school, to go to church and stuff like that? There was none of that. There was simply get off the property. See, here's the thing. You may have the right to do that because they are trespassing, but you didn't handle it right. You didn't approach it right. The things you say, the things you do, how you said things was extremely offensive and escalating and ineffective in terms of ministry. If you don't want someone on your property, give them a helping hand and give them options. Everybody wants to be treated with dignity and respect. People want options rather than threats. You go there and you make contact with them. Hey, how you guys doing? We just can't have you staying on the parking lot all the time. Is there anything we can do to help? Can I point you in the direction of some homeless shelters and stuff like that? There was a myriad of ways, countless ways, that all these people could have handled the situations other than the way they did it. And now They're all over social media and they're in the news, and it's just a very embarrassing, avoidable look. Folks, slow down, take a deep breath, assess the situation. Is there imminent danger of great bodily harm or death? No. Think things through. What are the things you can do as a church representative or as a representative of your business, a customer, a client? What are the things that you can say or do to help another individual? Are you even making an effort? In the book of Matthew, Jesus said, as you did to the least of one of these brothers and sisters of mine, you also did unto me. We're supposed to be new creatures with the renewed mind, and we're supposed to be ambassadors for Christ. Are you making an effort? If you got something out of this video, hit that like and subscribe, tell people about me, and I'll see you on the next video.